So, you'll notice that you won't see me in this video. That's because we have an awesome storm in Tremont tonight, and we've got a good light show. So, why not take advantage of that? This is the third video in my series of videos on my political beliefs to my friends on Facebook to explain where I'm coming from on certain issues and whatnot. So, I think that one issue that comes up that concerns a lot of my friends on Facebook, because a lot of my friends on Facebook are people that I have served with when I was in the Marine Corps. A lot of my friends aren't necessarily Marines. They're just people that I met while I was in the Marine Corps. I've got some great Army guys. Soldiers. I've got some great sailors, some great airmen, some great Coast Guardians that I've served with that would qualify as veterans. And I think this video would pertain to them. I think that there is a large movement in the veteran community to use their veteran status to basically attempt to win every argument, I guess I would say. The main argument that I see from this is, hey, I was a veteran, I know what it's like to be shot at, so I must know everything there is to know about life. Which is not the fucking case. The thing that brought this up were some shootings recently where the police killed some, according to what video evidence is available on social media, which, to tell you the truth, is not very strong. You can cut those videos. Even if you don't cut those videos, you don't necessarily have the whole situation. You have a little bit of information, and because it's on social media, you think you have the whole fucking thing, which is not the truth. If it were true that everything that came out on social media was true, then Abraham Lincoln really would be a fucking vampire hunter. George Washington would be a cyborg that fought off the British invasion of the American Empire. Star Trek would have happened billions of years ago. Battlestar Galactica would be the true history of humans. Things like that. Like, if you believed everything that came up on the internet, then you'd have to believe all of these ludicrous opinions as well. But that's neither here nor there. My argument right now isn't on what to believe and what not to believe that's on the internet. My main argument here is that people who served in the military are using their status of having served in the military to say that they are the authority on anything and everything. Now, this might sound like sacrilege to some people. A guy that served in Iraq or Afghanistan or both, walking foot patrols, making sure that the local villagers are safe and whatnot, you would seem that just looking at his files and whatnot, that he would be an expert on what it is to be a police officer. Unfortunately, that's not true. I found this out when I decided to become a security guard at ATK up here at Promontory Point, working for Centera. I thought that because I knew what it was to be on fire watch, to stand duty, because I had some firearms training, because I knew what it was to have a good work ethic, that I would know anything and everything there was about working a security job. That's not fucking true. There are so many state regulations, federal regulations out there governing those jobs. There's different rules between the companies that you work for. There's even different rules about the materials that you're guarding. I mean, we guarded some hydrazine. This isn't classified. This is ATK actually makes some of the hydrazine that goes into our F-16s. If you don't know what hydrazine is, basically, if an F-16 takes damage to its engine, it can, and it's not pumping fuel, it can use a chemical that is called hydrazine that basically turns the F-16 into a rocket, and it will fly it out far enough to where the F-16 pilot can fly his plane away from a civilized area, and it can crash into a mountainside or a desert, and the pilot can eject safely and know that his plane was not causing any civilian casualties. That's the type of stuff that I guarded at ATK. So you'd think that having a military background, that having the clearance that I had would help in that job. No, it didn't. To be honest, it did not at all. Their qualifications for shooting were completely different. Their rules of engagement were completely different. The uniform obviously was completely different. The entire way that you treat people was completely different. So what irks me is when you see all these veterans saying, oh, all these cops are shooting people. I know what it's like to have rules of engagement because I had all of these stringent ROEs and we had to do this and that before we shot anybody. That's complete bullshit. I'm not saying that those veterans are lying. They probably had those rules of engagement. But to compare that to a police officer's job is bullshit. I recently read a comment that one of my friends posted where they outlined some of the differences between a police officer's job and a military man's job. That's out on patrol and being a grunt and whatnot. And by the way, when I say grunts, I don't mean it as a term of disrespect. When grunts can say people other than grunt and not mean it as a term of disrespect, then I feel that I can say grunts and not mean it as a term of disrespect. So when I say grunt, I say anyone who is on the ground, whether that be a tanker, a guy operating a SMAW, an infantryman, whatever. All of those people I term grunt. So when I say grunt, I'm encompassing all of that. Now, you see all of these grunts on Facebook saying, yeah, I know what it's like to have to shoot at people and whatnot, so I must know what it's like to be a cop. They're wrong. They have no idea what it's like to be a cop. They have no fucking idea. Completely different set of rules. Those people, when they were deployed, they were in another country. So if they did something wrong, it wasn't just them that fucked up. It was our country that fucked up. Hence some of the rules that were in place. When a police officer messes up, it's just that police officer, or it's just that station that's messed up. It's not our entire country that's put under the spotlight. Whereas when a soldier or a Marine or a sailor or an airman or a Coast Guardian fucks up, it's our entire country. So I can understand why there'd be different rules of engagement. Besides the fact of citizenship and different rules pertaining to that, which I'll probably go into in another video. But my main thing here is not necessarily to go into the difference between veterans and civilians. My main thing here is to go into Why the fuck are veterans considering themselves above everybody when it comes to their opinions? Now, I don't mean to look down on veterans, because it's an all-volunteer force right now. With this past war, which is one of the longest that we've ever had, it's been an all-volunteer force. We haven't had a draft. So every person in the military that's deployed right now has done that voluntarily. They haven't been told to go under pain of imprisonment or death or anything like that. It's all been volunteer. So I respect them for that. I very much do. The thing is that people want to try to use that as a position of power. People want to try to use their status as a volunteer veteran to say that they're the authority on anything and everything, whether it be people disrespecting the Pledge of Allegiance, people disrespecting the national anthem, stolen valor, whether we should go to war or not. Let's see. The Black Lives Matter movement, I've seen people try to use their veteran status to comment on that. If it doesn't have to do with the military, leave your veteran status out of it. Seriously, if it doesn't have to do with the military, leave the fact that you were in the military out of it. I'm not saying you should not express your opinions. I'm just saying that you should express your opinions as a regular citizen, as a regular worker in the United States, as someone who just goes out, does their job, comes home, goes throughout their day. Just because you were a veteran doesn't mean that you gain some spiritual insight into the United States. Doesn't mean that you gain some overwhelming power to divine where our country is going next. It's fucking disgusting to me. It buys into the whole veterans are heroes and gods concept, which is bullshit. Veterans, in my opinion, are good people for the most part. But with so much of this hero worship going around, you think that veterans are the closest that it is to come to God, which is not true. You have pieces of shit in every walk of life. You have crazy people in every walk of life. I mean, if you join the military, if you join a force that is meant to kill people to defend our freedom, or to threaten to kill people for our freedom, you gotta be at least a little bit crazy. It really irritates me. Now, I know I went through this whole speech about not trying to use your veteran status to make a point, but I'm gonna contradict myself here and use it here. It really irritates me as a veteran, as someone who served, and as someone who as someone who believed in their oath to defend the Constitution, who believed in the Marine Corps, that they were joining something greater than themselves. It really irks me. It really pisses me off when I see fellow veterans try to use their status as a veteran to try to gain political power, to try to say that they somehow know better than everyone else. It's fucking bullshit. It pisses me the fuck off. If you're a veteran and you were in all of your political quotes and all of your statuses on anything current say, well, I'm a veteran, so I have an opinion on this. Shut the fuck up. Get off of Facebook, get off of Twitter, get off of YouTube, get off of whatever social media you're on. Fucking go out on a journey, find yourself, find what you actually believe, Stop fucking using your veteran status as a tool for power. It's fucking disgusting. Fucking stop it. That's all I have to say about that.